So this video is created to save you some time and why you probably should not buy the Mango Power E and how it compares to everything else on the market. First, we're going to talk about the pros and what I tested, and then we're going to talk about the downsides and all the problems that I found. So first, let's talk about the pros. I did a capacity test on all 4 batteries. We have a main unit down here with an expansion battery and a main unit down here with an expansion battery. I used a kilowatt meter to see the capacity, and with their inverter efficiency on the data sheet, it actually exceeded those figures. It did a really good job. Next, it comes with this cable with MC4 adapter so you can connect solar panels. And you can actually connect 2,000 watts of solar panels, which is better than the EcoFlow Delta Pro, but the max input voltage is only 150 volts, which is the same as everyone else. So the amount of panels you can put in series is going to be the same. This is not better or worse than the competition. But it can handle more current, so that's another 400 watts over the EcoFlow Delta Pro, and that is a benefit, especially for the price. Next, it has lots of USB ports, 4 AC outlets, and an RV30 amp plug, and the interface is actually pretty nice. And right now we're charging with 180 watts of solar, and the state of charge is 32%. Now let's talk about what I dislike about these units. Unfortunately, the build quality is pretty bad. Compared to a Bluetti or an EcoFlow Delta Pro, this plastic box that it's in is not the best quality. And the panels do not line up. There's a gap right here. This corner is not flush. Next, it's lacking a very basic feature that I cannot seem to get to work. If you connect the AC input to these units, you cannot turn on the inverter. Typically, you'll have a bypass, the inverter circuit will run in reverse and actually charge up the battery, but for this thing, you either get one or the other. You cannot charge the battery and have the inverter on at the same time, which is a very basic feature that all the other solar generators at this price actually have. So let me show you. So first we're going to connect the grid, and it is charging, and it shows that there's power coming from the grid. It's charging with about 400 watts, but if we press quick charge, it will actually increase. And now we're charging at 1,645 watts, but check this out. Let's turn on the AC output, and the grid goes down to 0. It completely stops charging. So you can have only one or the other. You cannot do both at the same time. And I looked under the settings to see if there was a UPS function that I can enable, and I'm not seeing anything, so this is not that great. Now let's turn off the inverter and see what happens, and look at that, it's now charging from the grid. And then turn on the inverter, and again, it will shut down the grid input. Very unfortunate. Now what this tells us is that this unit does not have a true AC bypass function like the EcoFlow Delta Pro. Both of these units, this one and the EcoFlow Delta Pro, use the inverter circuit in reverse to charge the batteries. And the EcoFlow Delta Pro has a bypass function so that the AC input can directly power the AC output while the battery is charging. If you do not have that bypass circuit, you can either have one or the other. You're either discharging the battery with the inverter circuit or you're charging the battery with the inverter circuit. You can't do both at the same time. So let's connect the app and see if we can enable it. Next, the app requires you to make an account. I'm so tired of having so many accounts and so many apps on my freaking phone. Why can't the app just connect to the unit and that's it? Maybe there's settings that I don't know about in here. That would be nice, but you should always be able to change the settings without a phone on the screen. And I don't see any settings for enabling the UPS function. But let's see if it's actually in the app. To verify my email address. Ooh, this actually looks pretty nice. Their app designer is doing a good job. This looks fantastic. So it doesn't show you in the app how to connect it, and I'm not seeing it on my Bluetooth or Wi-Fi list. So I can't get the app to connect to this unit, so I think we're gonna have to move on. Very basic. This doesn't tell you much. Now Ben from Minuteman Prep, he actually has had these units for a while and he cannot get it to connect to his phone and he cannot update the firmware to make it work. On his units, they do not run for more than an hour no matter what size load you connect, and he's had a host of other issues. And mine's not connecting to the app either. And this interface might look nice, but there's not that many settings you can change. There's really not that much functionality. Maybe you can access it with the app, but I'm not able to connect to it and neither can another YouTuber. receiver. Now another basic function it's missing is the time remaining actually calculates it for discharge only. It doesn't calculate how fast it will take to charge up the unit. And let's do quick charge. The time remaining does not change. On the EcoFlow Delta, it tells you time remaining for discharging and charging. On this unit, it only shows it for discharging. And that's a very basic feature that even cheaper models actually have. Also, Ben has run into another issue on his channel where the state of charge is going all over the place. So yeah, I've never had that issue on here because I have the new firmware. He said that that problem is solved when you update the firmware, but he can't do it on his because he cannot connect the app. I cannot connect the app and I cannot change any of the other settings. So we're both kind of stuck as to what should we do. If I can get it to work, I'll let you guys know, but yeah, this needs a lot more work. Maybe in the future they'll fix this or they'll make a better unit. Overall, not very impressed at all, especially with the competition. This needs to beat an EcoFlow Delta or a Bluetti, and how it is right now, absolutely not. Now, even if I get this thing to work, it's not that impressive. There's no special features or anything that you would not want to buy an EcoFlow Delta Pro over this. There are better options at a better price, so I don't think most people are going to be buying this thing. But please prove me wrong in the comments section if you disagree. I do not see anything special about this unit at all, and it seems pretty low quality. Even the covers on the side, like the plastic, it just feels cheap. It doesn't feel nice, especially for this much money. Even the cigarette lighter adapters, like these are really cheap ones. These are not that nice. Also, one of the expansion batteries would not turn on. I kept holding down this power button, pressing it over and over again, and it would not turn on. The other one turned on instantly. Eventually, I got it on, and I don't know why or how, but it did turn on eventually. So yeah, lots of problems. I would avoid Mango Power until they come out with something better, and they need to update their firmware and make it easy to connect the app. But yeah, just stick to EcoFlow Delta or Bluetti. I wouldn't touch this yet at all. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.